When the game gets tough, the tough ones start to play at Armor Attack. Hi everyone and welcome back to Armor Attack Italy. This is Angelo and this time we're going to talk about the achievement which, if you ask me, Keck pulled a very bad joke with those. Why am I saying this? Because basically achievements are one of the way to get gold, okay? But how can we get gold? Any other way? Okay, we have the leaderboard where once a week we can get 50. Then we have the free access where once a week we get this little amounts here. We have the crates where in the daily we don't have any gold. We have little gold in the metal crate, and then we have some gold in the crates. But as you see, not really incredible amounts. Okay, and later on I'll see if I open this one. As for the daily, we don't have gold anymore. And all disappeared beside these two. But I'm gonna show you that these amounts of gold, even these two, are basically a joke. And then this is the disaster. Now instead, the last one that I want to point out is the free resources. Because daily, with the free resources, we can get 30 and 40, that's 70. Okay, plus of course we have the golds that we get from the battles. If you win you get 2, if you get MVP you get 5, and the 5 for MVP doesn't matter if you win or lose. So if you lose but you get MVP you get 5, if you win and get MVP you get 7. Okay, now there is, for example, now I had to open 200 compact crates, and I got, guess what? The incredible amount of 20 golds, right? Now, for the one of you, especially the one who do have Prime, okay? Because for the free-to-play, I think this is not possible. But if some of you as free-to-play are able, with whatever system you use, to open 10 crates a day, please drop a comment and explain everyone how you managed to do that. 10 crates is something that you can do with Prime, but you have to log in more than once a day, mainly 3-4 times a day, and then you have the chance to open 10 crates. Okay, so that will mean that to do it you need to open 10 crates every day for 20 days. Okay, now it is my opinion, but I think you will all agree with me that if I have to keep that pace for 20 days, because it's gonna take me 20 days, maybe 20 goals, are not really that much. Okay, this reward, and we're gonna see there are even way worse than this one. This one already is a joke. This is a tip. This is not a reward. It's like to give you something because you achieved that. But there is absolutely no proportion between the effort to do that and the time that it takes for such a miserable reward. But since all these achievements have different stages, I want to do this one with you. So I'm gonna claim this one, and most likely now underneath here I'm going to have the new one. Okay, it was 200 combat crates for 20 golds. Now is 1000 combat crates, which is 5 times more, for 40 golds. And this leads me to say, CAC, I don't know how you work this out, but it's such a bad joke. I mean, you are, I don't know, you're pretending that the players are that stupid, that they don't understand that this is nothing. Really, this is nothing compared to the effort that it takes to achieve this. And we'll see, this is not the only one. There are other ones that are even worse. Alright, now, before we go into this achievement again, I'm going to show you some other thing. The only gold that we have is one for Prime and one for all, but related to upgrade. Okay, so let's take the 5 times, and you get 20 gold reward, which someone will say, hey, not too bad. Wrong answer. Now, let's go here. If we get the best deal, and this one has become much better after the upgrade because it used to be 100,000. So this is one of the very few good news about that disaster of upgrade. If we divide it, it makes that each gold coin values 30 silver coin. Okay? Keep that in mind. Now, if you have to do your upgrades that you already had in mind and everything, no big deal. You do it. Don't even think about the achievement. But if you're thinking about doing upgrades because of the achievement, think twice. Because, and this is one of the very few advantages that you still have with Prime, and then is when you get robots for free. Then, in that case, you can do the first one here, that is 500, and you can do that with weapons and robots, because now they cost the exact same amount. Oh, and about that, I'm gonna show you one thing for a second. If you go on my channel, Armor Attack ITA, right now there are a few videos that you may want to give it a try. Here I'll explain every possible reason why, and this is your choice. It's up to you to decide if Prime is still worth it or not. And here you're going to find all the explanation of the bad news about the upgrade process speed, because it got slower, and that mainly because we can collect gold and silver. Then if you want to go crazy, you watch this one, which is as long as a movie, but it does really explain you everything. Okay, that done, let's go back to this. Okay, so you do the first 4 and you spend 2,000, and then you get this one and one for 1,000. Okay, so and you get your 5 upgrades. Okay, spending 3,000, but 3,000 silver. But for the numbers that we said before, 3,000 silver is 100 gold. So this is another time a joke. Now, of course, the upgrade cannot give you back the entire amount that you spent. So if we say, okay, you're getting a 5th back, maybe we can call it even. The thing is that this thing about a 20 to be a 5th, so maybe you can call it a decent reward. It works only if you are a prime user and you have a bunch of robots and weapons on level 1. Because if you are in this situation, then forget it, that it's going to cost you 3,000. It's going to cost you, let's see, 65, another 22, 85, 87, 87, 107, 109, and then this is 65. Okay, then we're missing 2, and we are 105. We have to add another 72, 177 silver, 177,000 silver. Okay, then, as I said, if you already had that in mind, okay, but you understand that this kind of reward, it's, I don't know, you give it a name, because I really don't know what to say. Okay, now before we get into an example that I prepared, and that in my opinion it shows really the bad taste. You know, we are to the point where we can consider such a reward like an offense. Like CAC is showing us the middle finger, like they don't care how much effort it takes to, you know, to finally get to a certain achievement, and they just give you something, you know, just to say that they gave you something. And I don't know how to explain it in another way. To do this, I have to show you a few things first, because my example is based on battles and kills. Okay? Now, if we just take these players, as you see, 16, 112, 39, 54, 4, 37, okay? And if I go here on my list, and these are all guys that play a lot, okay? Because I find them online almost every night, so I know that they play a lot, okay? And I want you to pay attention to this. We go from people that do 40 to over 200, not a time 40, not a time 200, to almost 300, 200, 40, 29, 264, 47, okay? So you see that the majority of the people are under the 200 bottles, okay? And you have to do it and that's the 10 days, all right? Now I'm gonna show you a pic that I prepared, a little sheet to get to a certain point. Now, and try to stick with me. Let's say that you play 20 bottles per day, okay? That's the famous 200 for 10 days. And as you've seen, there are some that get to that point and even more than that, but the majority is below 100. So I'm using this example because this is an example that would give you very high numbers. So it would be friendly to CAC, okay? Even if they don't deserve it this time. But let's say that every single day, weekends included, 30 days a month, you play 20 bottles per day. And let's say that doesn't matter if you lose or win, you always average at least 10 kills. And trust me, don't think that that is so easy, because it's not, okay? But anyway, if you do this, you achieve 200 kills per day. And you will say, wow, that's a lot. But it takes 50 days to achieve 10,000 kills, right? Now, you would think, Angelo, what is this? Be patient. Be patient. I'll show it to you in a second. Oops, and we go back here. And now we are going to look at a certain achievement. And the achievement is this one. Okay? Because you know that these ones do have progressive rounds, right? So there are some that you do faster and something that you do in a slower manner. I did get to the point where I would have to destroy 10,000 enemies, but using the Hermit faction. So that pic that I showed you before is not just generic kills like this one, destroy 5,000 enemies. This one is specific, 10,000 enemies as Hermit faction. So I would need to run a preset only with characters of the Hermit faction. In that way, And if I did the 20 bottles per day, average 10 kills every single bottle, and I do that for 50 days, I do get 80 golds. Now, and of course, I will get to this even with the other factions sooner or later. Now, if you ask me, this, if here they put it an emoji with the middle finger, at least I had a reason to laugh. This, really gets me upset. All right, and since I'm not at the first round of these, just get ready. This one that I haven't, because I don't use them much, as you see, I'm still down at the 500. But if, for example, you use a lot the Imperial, all of the Bastion, at the end you will get to this. And again, if for 500 enemies killed with a faction, I get 20. Okay? I get 20 golds. How can it be that when I kill 10,000, which is 20 times more, I get 4 times the gold? Where is the proportion? Because at least it should have been, sorry, not now, it should have been 400, not 80. Okay? And even here, 500 of a faction, 20, and 5,000 generic, without faction, using whatever you want, 40. What is this? To win 500 matches, they give you 40 golds? Remember this one's 5 upgrades, 20, 30 upgrades, 6 times more, 40. I mean, you understand that once you've done the very, very, very first ones, all right, to get those 20, 40, whatever goals is going to take you weeks and weeks and weeks. And then we are going to say, hey, I'm not collecting gold that much anymore. Yeah, for sure. If we have this kind of achievement, and I don't know if there's going to be a next level to this. All right? I don't know. Probably not. It could be here on the generic. I want to know if this one goes that I have to kill 20,000 enemies to get 100 gold. I mean, this is absolutely a damn joke, and a very bad one. Look at this one. Open 1,000 combat crates for 40 golds. I mean, come on, guys. I mean, Keck, wake up, put your stuff together. If you, it seems like you're convinced that 2 plus 2 is equal 22 instead of 4. But it ain't. Math doesn't work that way. And if it can help you out, when you wake up in the morning, hang your damn head on the wall a few times. And maybe you will get things straight in your mind. Because this way, I'm sorry, we are beyond a bad joke. And this is all I have to say about this stupid achievement. because these guys, sorry, I've lost my temper a bit, but this thing, this stuff is offensive. You know, they're just, I don't know how to say it. I really don't know how to say it. Anyway, let's calm down a bit, and if you think it was a good video, leave me a like, subscribe to the channel, which is something that I appreciate a lot every time you do that, and hit the notification bell. And as usual, at the end, ciao.